Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Anybody that's new, welcome. So today we are going to make a Jenga block, which we are going to use the tumbling tower, aka Jenga blocks from DT. They come in a blue pack or a brown pack, can be found in the toy section. If you are in the US, from what I hear is you can order them online to your local store for free shipping. Here in Canada, we can't order them online. We have to buy them in store. And I use Wellbond. It's my preferred glue using the blocks. I would not use hot glue only because it doesn't seal the blocks properly and eventually will come apart. Depending if it's in the window or something, the heat will make them come apart. I just suggest using wood glue. I know some other crafters use the Dollar Tree wood glue. I've never seen it at my store. My preference is Wellbond. You can buy it at Rona/Lowe's. Nikki, fellow crafter, says you can buy it at Hobby Lobby. I suggest getting a carpenter's ruler, L-shaped ruler. You can find this in the DT in the hardware section. It keeps your blocks nice and straight when you're gluing them. In my videos, I started saying stacked and flat. So when I say flat and you're gluing them, for example, you're just gluing them sideways, just like that. And that would be considered flat, which will look like this. And when I say stacked, meaning sideways, so you put the glue there and you glue your blocks like this as well, that would be considered stacked when I say stacked. And then it just looks like this sideways when we're putting the builds together. I do pre-glue most of my stuff prior to the video. Along the videos, please watch to the end because sometimes I do change up a build only for the fact that I have an idea of the build and sometimes I want to add a layer onto a part of the body or head. And sometimes someone will say, oh, it didn't fit right or something like that. And it's because they didn't watch the whole video. So please watch the whole video. In the description of this video, also, I will put the number of blocks used. I do suggest writing them down, having a little book or paper. I have a book that I write down. Just keeps it easier from when you're gluing them together to know how many you're doing. Putting in, say, an F beside 3, knowing you're gluing it flat, and then S saying stacked. Just keeps a better idea of how many blocks, or you could just pause the video as you go as well too. All right, we will start with the Jenga block, which, working from the bottom up, we're gonna start with stacked, oh, there's a piece here, 17, stacked 16, stacked 15, stacked 14, oops, stacked 13, stacked 12, we're going to do stacked again, 11, and we're going to do another 2 rows of 11, 11. We're just going to keep it centered as we go all the way up. Stacked 10 and another stacked 10. And we're just going to glue it like just as is all the way down like that. This part here, and I'm going to call it the body part, is 140 blocks. Going to glue it with Wellbond, and I'm going to leave it for about 6 hours before we move on to the next step. Now that we have it glued together, normally on my other tutorials, I've started with the spackle, but this one is going to be super easy, that we're not going to have to use any spackle at all, which cuts drying time. And we are just going to paint all of it all the way around, just with some DT black paint. So while the witch's body is drying, we are gonna do the head now. We're gonna start from the bottom up. So we're gonna do flat, 5, 10 stacked, 11 stacked. Another 11 stacked. 10 stacked. And the last one is 5 flat. I'm gonna glue those all the way, as you can see, just center them all the way down, going like that, and let those dry. Now that we have it glued together, I did do the other side because I did play around because I had an idea. It didn't work. So I already did the other side, but for those of you that are new to my channel, back a while ago, I did start using spackle just because the blocks are uneven and sometimes you get holes. One's a little higher than the other. The spackle you can get, I get it at Rona/Lowe's. I had a couple crafters use the DT one, and other crafters that have used this one as well and said it worked great. It's almost like butter putting on it, and all you do is it's pink and then it dries white, and I will show you the other side in a second because I had to fix up my boo-boo on the other side because I tried to do something that was a little bit different than my normal spackle and it didn't work. So trial and error. And once you just put a nice smooth layer, I just use a sharp knife. They do have tools at DT. I have tried clay. I'm not a fan of the clay because it will crack. Anyways, the one's from DT, and I tried Dollarama's clay. Didn't like that. I think I did one of my videos at the very beginning when I was using the bigger blocks, and it did end up cracking just a little bit on the top. I think it was this first barn I did, not the second barn. And once you get it all smooth or all on, it takes, especially a thin layer like this, will not take very long. I just stick it in the sun in the window and it will dry super fast. Once you get the layer, a good layer on, because I see it just uneven a little bit here. Now I also did the sides already because I was playing around. And once you get the sides, you'll see right there that it just changes the shape of the blocks. You can see a little bit of the white already dry, obviously, on the sides. And this is the other side. So it is super, except this one, is super flat. And I just use nail files, buffing blocks. You can actually buy the big square one. Mine's outside. I like to do this outside because it can get a little bit dusty. And I just find it works really well to get a nice smooth surface since the blocks are so uneven. I'm gonna let this dry, file it, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, so now that we have it done, I've done it on both sides. I am going to paint it with Chalk It Up chalkboard paint. This is from DT. They do have holiday green. I find it a little bit too dark. I want something a little lighter. So this is the other one that I'm going to use. I'm gonna try it out. Maybe I won't like the color because I always find things look different once you color it, but I'm gonna give it a good coat on all sides of this paint. Now that the head's done, I did try looking at the bottle and I can't find any name for the color of this green. I really like this green, and as you can see, it dries a little bit different. I don't know. If anybody wants the SKU code, I'd be happy to put it in the comment section if you do want to look it up. I tried looking for another bottle today because I like the green and I couldn't find any, but I only checked the one DT. So I want to do a nose on her face. I thought of different couple things if I wanted to make it an ugly witch, a scary witch, and I think I'm just going to do a big ugly nose, and I want to do a wart on it. So there's a couple different options. I'm going to show you 3 different options. I am going to go for the bigger nose. You can get this package. It's in the kids section at DT. It's build and play race car, little woods. They have a couple different ones. I think they have the airplane. I used actually for the Jenga block truck, I actually used part of this one, I think. For the steering wheel. Maybe not, because the steering wheel looks a lot thicker. This one looks a lot thicker. Anyways, I'm going to use this bigger nose, so to speak, that it would be, and I'm going to show you from the side, kind of looks like a bird. I was like, oh, I can make a duck. That's that size there. They also have, in the same bag, they have another one that's just like that. This one reminds me of a bird. And they have a smaller one too. So really, unless you want to do cute, there's a button nose. So for this one, I'm not going to concentrate on those. I do have my Dremel pen that I do have for filing, but you can also use just what we do when we sand the spackle is that you can just keep filing it. So I want to keep filing it all the way around, top side, not the back, just the top here, the end. I want to make it more round, and the bottom side. Now for this little indentation, I'm gonna shape it first, and then I am just gonna stick some spackle in there just to level it off and sand it just like I did with the head, just so it fills that spot, and then we have the nose. So I'm gonna start on that. Now that I've put the filling in there, the spackle, I did round the edges on the ends as well, just so it looks more realistic. Well, it's gonna try anyways. So the embellishments, just some gems from DT. Just gonna grab one of these. Just put a wart right on. I think it's gonna go right there. It's near the tip. And just paint it with the same color that you did the head with. So while the nose is drying for the witch, we are going to add another 4 blocks. So I always say you gotta always watch my full video, because I do add, sometimes I do add, and this is where it's gonna be another video of adding a row. So I'm gonna add a row of 4 flat. And I'm just going to add it right here. I am just going to, I think I will do it green for the neck, so that I just want to add an extra layer. I'm not going to even add the spackle in. I think I'll do it that way, this way, because the black part you're not going to see. That's why I didn't fill in. That's why I didn't fill in the sides. It is going to be covered, but the base part needs to be black. So I'm just going to glue those on and just add the paint to it. All right, so I did another little change. I just changed the green. I just thought it was too dark, and I thought it would be more of a Frankenstein look. I did change it to a leaf green. Now this paint is from Dollarama, but I know that DT has, this is like an olive color. So I am gonna keep the color. Got the little wart nose on happening. Little wart on the nose. I'm just gonna glue this while we do another part. And I am just gonna glue it, not right in the center, just a little bit down further. Sorry if I've stuck my head, I just wanna make sure it's centered. And I am just gonna put this to the side in a second. All right, I'm gonna leave this to the side. So we're gonna put the dress on it now. I'm just gonna move this to the side, guys. Oh, it's not in my way. I don't wanna knock it. Now, I did add the top on there, and I glued it on already. We're gonna use, just came in, I got it from DT, I don't even know what, oh, it says night on it, children dress up costume. I just wanted it for the material. Now, when you pull this out, I got green paint on it already. There's a front part which has this big extension part, and then there's the back. I already cut some in the back, and I'm just gonna show you here where we're gonna cut it off. I'm gonna do it sideways so you guys can see. Now it runs along all the way here. What I did was, I'm just going to cut it while I have you guys right on there. There's my scissors. We're just going to put it right over the top of the build. And you still got lots of material for another project. So basically you're going to just put it centered with the sides open, because we need an area for the arms to go in. It's a little bit longer in the front and a little bit in the back. Before I put it on though, I am just going to give it some little, I'm just going to show you here. I'm just going to do some little, it's a little bit time consuming. I'm not a seamstress. Just kind of like that. Bunches of little V's. Which is going to be a little bit, and it's curling right up, and I don't know why. But I'm just going to go like that all the way down, even if it does curl up. I don't. Maybe I'll make them wider. It seems to curl every time I do it. But I'm going to do that all the way along this side and the other side. All right, now that I have both sides cut, they kind of curl, and that's okay because it kind of gives a little bit of character. I did that on both sides. I didn't do a very good job on this side, obviously. It's gonna look a little bit ratchet. Okay, that's okay. We are just gonna glue it right on top. So I am going to just use some Mod Podge. I'm just gonna paint it right on the top. Well, actually, I'm gonna put a little bit more than that. Whoops. I did a bunch on here. So I'm just gonna glue it on right like that. I just got a bunch of Mod Podge on me. Now you're gonna center it with the little frills on one side and on the other, and kind of center just down like that. I think it needs to go over just a little bit more. Sometimes it sticks on the block. Okay, so you make sure you have the arms out. It's even before I press it down. And we're just gonna leave it like that to dry, because I can feel it sticky coming through. So I'm gonna put that right on the side for a moment, and I'm just gonna clean up my brush. While the material's drying on the base, we are gonna do the arms. Now, if you watched, I believe it was my Jenga block elf I made last year, I use these arms. I think I used it on something else. I can't remember now. They're just big hair curlers. You get a 6-pack of them. I'm running out. DT, of course. I'm going to cut this much off in order. I'm just going to open this up, take a pair of pliers. Stubborn wire. I'm just going to try to keep this even. I'm not going to try to cut through the wire. I just want to pull it off. Perfect. Oops. Now, we're not even gonna put this piece back on. We are going to use the Dollar Tree little bag of hands that came in. Now, I thought they were all like one left-handed, all left-handed or all right-handed until I paid attention, and they actually come left and right. So when you're putting it on, for example, standing, thinking, when you put your hands in front of you, thumbs go on the bottom. Now I did. Okay, I just want to make sure. I already did one. I'm just going to take my drill. So the hole is too small to go in there. I'm just going to use my... Now it doesn't need to be that much bigger. So if you don't have a drill, you probably, if you can get something, I don't know, a tool that you could stick through there and play around to make it wider. Maybe you know a relative that can help you out with that. Now I'm going to cut that using my wire cutters. I'm just going to push it down a bit. I'm going to string this through. And you're just going to close it up how it was. Just like that. Then we are going to grab whatever paint you're using for the face, and we're just going to do it. Doesn't have to be fully covered. And you're just going to put it along there. I think this brush is ready for the garbage. You're going to do that with the opposite side too. I won't be able to do this side, but I'm just going to show you. So you don't need me to see that, to paint it black, because I already did one arm already. All right. If I have to do any touch-ups, I can do it off camera. Now this part, we're just going to paint black. Now once you have it done, it's going to look like this. So I'm just going to paint that black, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to position them onto the body. Now that the Mod Podge, I'm going to say Mod Podge, guys. Don't correct me. So it is glued on, as you can see. We're going to lift the sides just like that. I'm just going to put the head on for placement, not gluing it on like that, obviously. I just want to have the arms how we want to glue them. Now, depending when they are, we're going to use hot glue. So the thing is with hot glue, once you glue those on, they're going to be movable, but you might break an arm off. So just try to position them maybe the way you want them to look. And you're just going to glue it on, and then you're going to end up holding it. And it's going to take a little while for it to totally dry. So I'm going to do that off camera just because it's going to take a couple minutes. Now that I glued them on, we can just lift this right over the arms. And I think I'm going to tie a rope just around the waist loosely. So then you have it looking like this. Move them around a little bit. Just make sure that when you're moving them that you hold it on there and flex the arms like that. I'm not gonna glue the head just on yet. I am gonna place it on here just to show you. I'm gonna glue it on after we do the hair. Now, the hair, there's some different things that you can use for hair. So there's two that I saw. I'll show you the other one first. I don't know if you guys got them. It was about, I'd say, a month and a half ago. I was at DT. Let me move this. And they came out with these. So I'm in Canada. They came out with these ponytail extensions. They're actually freaking amazing. I don't know how they ended up in DT here in Canada. I did see them in a couple stores here. The hair is just like gorgeous. But I am not going to use this because I want to use something for the witch that I'm going to show you in a second. But for $1.50, like all this hair, gorgeous. And you could do so many craft projects with that. So that's just from one box. And then this one is supposedly longer. This one's 23. Like, I don't know if they made a mistake. Amazing hair. I have an idea about that hair. But other than putting it on my head, I have my own long hair that I don't need any more hair, but I just thought it was beautiful. I only bought it for crafts too. Is these ones. So if you followed, I'm trying to think of which ones I used for this. The Jenga block unicorn, obviously not this color. I think it was the Jenga block horse. I'm trying to remember. So I already pulled one off. Now if you cut slightly all the way around, you can get it off in one piece like this. Now it is long, so I don't know. I bought 2 packs. This is just in the kids section. It's the dress up hair. It comes in many colors. Obviously we're using it for the witch. I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna glue the head on after. I just don't want to move it around while I'm doing this. All right. We are going to use this witch hat from DT. We are going to switch it up after, but the reason why I'm showing you it now is just I want to explain the top part of the head, how we're going to do the hair. Now, I'm going to cut sections off, and I'm going to show you here in a second. But when you have the circle part, it's going to be in the center, correct? So we're just going to grab sections like this. And I'm just going to go halfway because this is like super long hair. And I'm just going to grab it halfway. Let me look here. Yeah. Halfway. I'm just going to cut it, and it's going to be so hairy. Gonna show you. Ugh. Need a new glue gun. Oops. Let me just put this in here, guys. Give me 1 second. All right, so now I've lost my so we're gonna try to keep it in the center. So the hair is going to sit flat. Now, let me just straighten this because I moved it around. I don't know if I'm going to need more glue. Watch your fingers. I'm just going to add some more glue. I don't know if I'm going to be able to use 2 or 1, like, I don't know if 2 packs is going to be good enough. I'm going to be generous with the glue, but you got to remember, you got to let the glue fully dry as you go. So I'm going to just lay it flat like this. I have those little finger things, but I don't know where they are. I'm gonna let that totally dry, and I'm gonna work my way around. So even if it's up in the middle, once you sit in the hat, the hat on there, you're not gonna see right in the middle, and it will still sit flat. And then you can pick the desired amount of hair that you want all the way around. So that's what I'm gonna do off camera. So I only used the one headband piece that I did have. The only thing is I find it sparse, so you can still see the back and the sides just a little bit. You can see it's just a big hot glue mess on top, but the hat will totally cover it, like I said earlier. Now I'm just gonna clip, and the only, I'm just gonna clip this hair. And I decided that to make it look a little bit more full, I'm just gonna do the sides, the back, both sides and the back black, only so that the hair will blend in better and that you don't see so much of the thinness on the hair. Now I did the black on the side, the back, so it conceals the hair a little bit better, that you don't notice that it's thin, I guess, if you want to say. The next thing I want to do is I want to make it gray. And you can see it's really hard here in the middle, so that's great for when you put the top on. It will sit flat. And there's a bit of glue in there, but that part will be concealed. Now I got this little pen, it's chalk writer. I did get it from DT a while ago. Don't remember what I bought it for, but it's just like a piece of chalk. Now, with the hair, you could use paint. The only thing is you have to do it randomly, strands. The best thing about the chalk paint, I just find that you can add as little or as much to it. Let me do it to the roots so you can see it a little bit better. Not that you're gonna see the roots, but now maybe you do have some white hair. I'm not trying to make it totally white. I just wanted some flecks in it. Just like a little bit of graying, sort of, not really. And I'm gonna go all the way around and do that before we move on to, we're gonna fix the hair a little bit better, because when you glue it on, it's gonna be hard to see sideways. I'm just gonna hold it like this, that it sticks out, as you can see here. But let me just get the gray on and then we'll do that. So I did this side already. You can see the hair. I just dabbed it. So just a little bit of hot glue, and I'll just show you here. I did trim the witch's hair to the length that you want. And then when you just hold it down, it's not all gonna go down, but then you will see that it will start to sit. And you can just keep doing that all the way down the side until it sits just nice side like that. So once it sits on the hat, it will be closer to the head. And I'm just gonna do the back. As you can see, the back, well, the back doesn't look bad at all. So I'm just gonna do the sides actually. All right, so now we have that the hair is done. We're gonna add some eyes. Now there's a lot of different things that I was trying to play around with. I had these ones on hand. I think they're from Dollarama. I haven't checked Dollar Tree. I didn't see any ones in the Halloween section or in the crafting section. But there's also these eyes. I just think they're just really weird. And I've always tried to use them in some of my projects. They just come off the flowers from DT. And I just think they're really weird looking. And I mean, I guess it could work. I just wish they were like kind of green. I guess you could kind of paint them, but I don't know. Those just kind of freak me out. So I'm just going to use two of these googly eye ones, just the green ones. Now it's a little bit hard to see. I don't draw by any means. I was playing around with just the pencil. It's just easy enough to lightly eraser some of the marks. I am just going to make some crazy eyebrows and some mouth. We are going to add teeth, but let me just paint those in black. So we're gonna add a belt while the face is drying. We're just gonna move the sides up just like that. And the arms are sticking out. Just grab a piece of rope. And I'm just gonna kind of do it midsection. I'm just gonna tie a knot, which I will do better lying flat probably. And then, and you're just gonna pull the arms back down and adjust that. You make sure the little arm parts are covered. All right, so I did the face. I don't know, my son is like, oh, that's so scary. And you know, he's 17, so I kind of find it funny, but I want to add some teeth, and you could draw them on, which was fine. I just thought something a little bit more realistic. So when I stopped by DT today, I found these little frozen Disney little nails, and they're so tiny. And I just put it on a piece of tape. They're really sticky, and just spray painted them white instead of having lines in them and stuff like that. I'm just gonna hot glue, and I think I'm just gonna do two. I'm gonna do one at the top, and I'm just gonna show you the placement. I'm not gonna do the hot glue. They're really sticky on the back. I guess it'd be really good for kids. Oh, I hope my head didn't get into the frame there. Just on one, and I'll just grab one more. Aha. And I'm just gonna hot glue it. No, I'm gonna do it this way. Probably gonna move it to the center so it doesn't look like fangs. I might even, let's see what the second one looks like. And the best thing about these is you can actually cut them right. Oh, I like them when they're tilted like that. Yeah. So I'll just hot glue them on the end so they're actually kind of tilted and they're not flat, as you can see. And then I'm gonna glue the Jenga block head on the body. Once that's glued on top, I just grabbed one of those DT rings, and I'm trying to find them. One of those spider rings, just like this. I cut the backing off it, and then I just hot glued it on a rope, and just the rope right around the top sides of the spider here. So when you hang it, it looks like a medallion, and I'm just gonna hang that around her neck. So while the head's gluing on, sorry, I'm laughing at the teeth. I'm just gonna use the DT witch hat that they have. I just have this spider, and I'm just gonna glue it right on top like that, and just hot glue the witch's hat on. I'm just gonna be very careful gluing on the teeth. I noticed with the hot glue, if your hot glue gun is really hot, it does melt them, so it adds a little bit character to the teeth, just a little bit, but I just thought it was kind of funny. All right, I'll get this glued on. I'll turn the camera around and you can see the witch standing up. All right, guys, here she is. I just think those teeth and that nose are just way too funny. You can move the arms a little bit. Just be careful when you're doing it. I just added a stick with one of the skull heads, like she's holding it. I think it turned out pretty well. I don't know if I'll keep this upstairs, maybe hide it in the basement. My sons just think it looks spooky. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you for watching. Please make sure and give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you soon. Bye.